is that we were gonna have to wait and see what the legislature did on possibilities of what was gonna be made available to counties.
And they didn't.
And tools that we were hoping that we would have, but then also possible new impacts from one of the decisions are
Oh,
both. And yeah, I was hoping to have those by the end of last week, and they're still in session. So yeah, by hopefully next month we will have a good analysis of how that affects us. I actually don't expect too much change.
Yeah.
Too much change on the revenue side.
Yeah.
How about on the expenditure side?
And not much there either.
As far as grants or health department or anybody else goes? Veronica, you haven't heard any bad news?
Not at this time.
Yeah, but there could be cuts in programs that.
Yeah. I mean, some of the cuts on the health side, some of the cuts were started last fall. And so some of the programs ratcheted back, and we built those, I believe, into our 2010 budget.
Right. And the budget request.
And so far, and you know, it ain't over till it's over, right?
Yeah.
But so far, what Gene has been telling me is that it's not so bad. And those were programs that very potentially, we were very concerned that there would be very significant cuts there. And so far, generally, there may be minor exceptions, that has not borne out. So, but, you know, I can't wait for sign to die from that perspective.
And I think, you know, I was gonna say, I think the other thing to look at is how is the state gonna fund themselves? If they go with the sales tax, or even if it's temporary, that does affect every other governmental entity and their plans for how they increase revenues and look at levies or tax increases. So it's something to look at the whole picture there and say.
Yeah, you know, it's Phil, last year we moved pretty quick as of May 1st. That was a pretty good move in my opinion versus waiting until July 1st, 2 months later. But this year, that's gonna, you know, whatever we do again early is gonna be better than if we do it in a shorter period. And David, tying into that is what plans are we gonna have potentially for the voters to make choices on programs
Right.
for the November general at least. Because it doesn't matter whether we pass it in the August primary or the November general, we're not gonna get it until next year.
Right.
So, but it's by the time after we deal with the terribleness of, or the possibility of the terribleness, then we can start thinking about that.
Yeah, we have, Transit's considering sales tax increase. You know, the state's doing the sales tax increase. How does that affect any law and justice? You know,
On the city
proposal
or the
city?
fire district?
Yeah, the fire district.
Yeah, you
You've
got
got
the
school
city.
issues coming up still, so it's still important to communicate with all the other governmental entities and try to.
Sort of the same way that they communicate with you in advance of their choosing to do this stuff.
Well, we keep trying to make it better. I get surprised sometimes.
I have a question about the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Under interfund charges for services, I see that year-to-date, as of, in 2009, we had 81,000, but as of, this year, we don't have anything at this time. So I was just wondering if anybody could answer why that is.
For the cost allocation?
Yeah, what
That
is
usually
that?
doesn't come until November, but last year's, Jeffcom didn't pay everything the prior year, so they paid the next portion early in 2009, but it was really for 2008.
Okay,
So we shouldn't get this money until November, or December.
okay.
So that changes kind of all the total numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Karen.
Anything else on the general fund?
So I think we're agreed that it's something that we need to watch carefully, that we will quickly do an analysis roughly 2 weeks from now.
Well, I'm hoping that when Judy talks about revenue concerns, are we going to address,
Yes, we are.
okay, then I will hold off until then.
So Judy, when Phil does this, he's obviously going to be working with you, because one of the big items that I get kind of you know, the investment income, are you still assuming you're gonna get 394,000, for example?
Well, that was based on, the interest we could foresee hitting, and, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay, I'm just saying that when he does his analysis of this 2-week period, 2 weeks from now when he gets to March, I assume he's gonna be working with you on those
Yeah.
kind of items
Well,
to
and-
get your feel.
Absolutely, I mean, you know, we have a track record of working together on
Right.
these things, and that will continue.
Good.
Okay, other funds. Departments, do you want to add anything? So 16.3 versus 21.4 and 13.9 in special revenue. Overall, 15.7. So it's higher than it was in '08, lower than '09. Any anomalies? Anyone bring up?
I gotta be honest with you, Judy, I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking at this one like I did the general fund.
We usually don't.
I can explain water qualities. The difference between '09 and 2010 is because of the transfer. We had worked with Karen on providing a bigger portion of the general fund transfer, in February. And that was because of the problem with cash flow with water quality.
And when we get to the expenditure side, you'll see that for operating transfers out, they look kind of skewed.
And water quality is now getting a clean water assessment.
Correct,
And a
partially.
little bit starting in February.
Right.
Anything else? All right, let's move to general fund cash balance. What, John?
Nothing, it was me, it's my fault, I'm sorry, I apologize. I was just noting that water quality is, that's bigger than my whole department. That must be a pretty big division.
It's a really small division, but it has big projects.
So you must spend money on a lot more than just personnel.
Oh, yeah, it's a real small department. I mean, as far as personnel goes, we have roughly, 6 employees? I'm trying to remember.
So a lot of it is outside services.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like professional.
Lab tests, things like that.
Yeah, we do a lot of sampling, so there's a lot of lab costs.
Do you do that with the conservation district? Do they work with you on that stuff?
Yes, they do. Yeah, a lot of money goes to the conservation district.
Done, Jack?
I guess so, sorry.
Thanks, Jack.
Under the month-end cash balance, you'll notice our unreserved cash is down to 240,000, which is very low. Obviously, we have more than that, but the 1.5 million is by requirement, our 10% reserve, so we only have 240,000 above that. And typically, that hasn't been the case in the past. It was a lot lower in 2005, but lower than typically, but higher than it is today. So this is a reason for concern. We need to have that cash available to us, especially if we're going to make transfers back and forth to other departments. So that's where we are today. Any questions on?
Could that partially be because of what Veronica was just talking about, that more went into water quality, which was a transfer out? Karen, would that be a bit of a difference of what's normal transfer? 8,000
I don't remember what it is, but
Which you said you kind of got double, so that one maybe was around 80,000, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what that was. Only
No,
a
because-
portion of